Hey, dude, I wanted to confirm this with you on the podcast because I've been hearing this for a while. Did you write on Takeshi's Castle?
So basically, when I was 16, I got some work at Cartoon Network,
Okay.
जहाँ पे उन लोगों ने मेरे को तकेशी's Castle के कुछ पार्ट्स के लिए लिखने के लिए बोला था.
Okay.
And then they asked me to follow the same sort of template, the same sort of humor to write for another show called The Unbeatable Banzuke. It
Okay.
was another Japanese show where people did fucking ridiculous things. That show never picked up like Takeshi's Castle.
Ah.
So I can't really claim to have written it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there were a few scripts that I had written
Yeah.
for parts of it, like that.
So to do a quick count, what all comedy stuff have you written? I think you've written on Kapil.
I have written. So yeah. So now about 7-8 years ago, when I started doing stand up in order to make some money, I wrote a few sketches for Comedy Nights with Kapil. I am not proud of that. I don't really. मेरे को तो in fact ये भी नहीं पता कि Takeshi's Castle में मेरा लिखा हुआ कितना use हुआ, कितना नहीं हुआ, क्या हुआ. It's not anything that I know, so I can't really claim it. You know what I mean? But Kapil था. गारफील्ड के कुछ एपिसोड्स थे जो हिंदी में ट्रांसलेट करने थे, जो मैं 16 साल की उम्र में लिख रहा था पोगो पे या कार्टून नेटवर्क पे. ऐसा कुछ था. I don't even remember properly now because.
Did you get this through like because I mean I know your dad is a writer.
No, none of that. So I was writing for this website called campusjunkie.com, where the deal was simple. You get a few writers from every college, and whoever has the most viewed article gets. So there were brackets, like payment brackets for every article.
Right.
If it's rated poorly by the moderators and doesn't get too many hits, then you get like $200, $300 for it.
Okay.
If it's rated highly, gets a lot of hits, you get like $1,000, $1,200.
Okay.
So I became one of the highest viewed writers on that platform because I was writing funny only, and people were writing all this intense shit, and I was like, dude, मेरे को मजाक उड़ाना. So that's what I was doing. मेरा एक आर्टिकल था जो तो उन लोगों ने कंपटीशन रन किया कि जो आर्टिकल वेबसाइट पे सबसे ज्यादा व्यूड होगा उसको आईफोन मिलेगा उस टाइम पे when we were like 17, and my article won, and I just asked.
I remember this. This is around the time we met.
Yeah. And I just asked them for the money for an iPhone because I didn't want a fucking iPhone. I wanted an electric guitar. And then I took that money and I bought an electric guitar.
Yeah. And then we were briefly in a band together.
Yes, we were. So not many people are going to know this, but Mehta and I met when we were 16, 17 years old. Mehta was a drummer. I was a singer. There were two other guys, Harshveer and Bunty. We were in a band together. And yeah, for about a couple of months, we used to jam at Mehta's grandfather's house in Borivali.
Grandfather's house in Borivali.
Abandoned house in Borivali. Yeah, we used to go there and jam, and people used to complain about the noise. So
they did not last too long. The geography of Bombay completely fucked that band's equation because वो मैं Grant Road रहता था, you were living in Marol.
Dude, वो amp लेके भैंसो लोकल ट्रेन में तेरे घर पे आने में ही हालत खराब हो जाती थी.
Oh man.
like अभी बजाएगा कौन उधर जाके यार. Fuck. They're like drum kit है पर 1.5 घंटा दूर. ठीक है जाओ.
Same thing happened with me to take the drums to Borivali. Dude, मैं पूरा drum kit piece by piece Grant Road से Borivali ट्रेन में लेके गया था.
Oh fuck. That's brutal, dude.
And then the walk from the station to असट bass drum और hardware bag लेके चल के जाने का.
Fuck, that's crazy, man. So
16, 17 campus junkie.
Then basically what happened is I've written for a lot of award shows, things like the Zee Cine Awards, Balaji Awards, a couple of stints, 1 or 2 stints on Filmfare as well, the IFA, all of that stuff. Because you have to do a lot of corporate writing work. See, my deal was simple. I felt that there were a lot of comics who were uploading videos too soon. They were getting success, but I felt like this is not really like, personally, I thought that I want to grow in the dark. And when I get on the internet, I want to put out something that's very impactful. And so for that, I thought, now if I have to pay my bills and I can't upload videos just yet, I want to grow and I want to become a better comic. So then I'm going to have to do these writing gigs. So I was doing a lot of writing gigs to make money. And so 5 years of writing for anyone and anything. I worked at, I wrote a lot of sketches at AIB as well.
Yeah, I
like,
was. You were there when I was interning there.
yes. You remember we were in the same. We were working on every Bollywood party song with Irfan Khan and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I wrote a large number of lyrics for that song. A lot of their music-based stuff, I had a large contribution on, and
Yeah.
there were a lot of sketches as well. And I learned a lot over there. Then there was On Air with AIB, which I did because I wanted to be on the same writing team as Upmanyu, Madhvendra, and Siddharth Dudeja.
Right.
Basically, none of us had videos out then, and nobody was quote unquote popular. But I just looked at these guys and I was like, these guys know things that I don't.
Yeah.
Their style is different from mine. I want to learn this shit, so I want to work in this writing team. And so then I went ahead and decided to be part of the same, like accepted the offer to be part of the same writing team. And yeah, that was a great experience. Hectic, but I learned a lot. Worked for Weird Ass Comedy, Veer Das's company, obviously. That was some of the best times I had early on, especially in stand up, because we were doing all kinds of outrageous things, man. We were doing costumes and sketches on stage, 5, 6 people traveling everywhere, doing all this shit. It wasn't like I was making an insane amount of money or anything, but the experience was just mind blowing. And what it does is, like, you're a kid, you start doing a couple of open mics, and you say, I love this comedy thing, and I want to get into it. And suddenly you get into the epicenter of it, like the six comics who are grinding the hardest, writing the most jokes are now around you, and the people who are taking the most outrageous risks and programming the craziest shows are now around you. You're part of that ecosystem.
Yeah.
Fucking sink or swim now. And it was fantastic. I loved it. So yeah, I feel like back then I had certain very brash views and ways of looking at things, which right now I realize, like, you can be in a situation and think, man, this needs to be better, that needs to be better, I need to move ahead, I need to do this quickly, I need to do that quickly. But when you do all of that, when you get to a certain stage in your life and you look back, you're like, man, I would have been so much worse without that experience. I would have been so much, like, I would have lacked so many things had that thing not taken time to happen.